Hi, welcome to my channel, and if you've already seen other videos, welcome back. My name is Paris. I am currently 22 weeks pregnant. I will be 23 weeks pregnant on Wednesday. I'm very excited about that. We are having a little girl, and this video is going to be on the hospital tour that we took a little over a week and a half ago. We just decided to get it out the way, to know what we needed, because I'm a planner and I like to have things in order. I like things to be as they should be. I don't know. I just like that. But I do hope that you enjoy this video. Make sure you like and subscribe. And there will be, I believe in the next video, we will be doing some names that we may be picking from. And in this video, you'll get quite a few tips for questions to ask at the hospital walk around for the labor and delivery. So let's get started. First things first, make sure before you go, have a list of questions. That's what I did. It made everything go smoother. There are other people in the group too, so it's not just gonna be like a one-on-one thing. A lot of times they will do 6 to 7 couples per hospital tour, maternity tour. That way, if someone else asks your question, you know, all right, that one's answered, and you can just roll through them. So for mine, I had 3 questions, and then other people asked such good questions, and I was very grateful for that because I did not think about some of those questions. The first question that we got was, that I asked was, how many people can be in labor and delivery when you're giving birth? And they told us, they're like, your spouse and then 2 other people. Okay, great, perfect. But they have to be over the age of 18 to be in there with you, and they have to be fully updated on all their shots. Great, no issue. My second question was, how many people were allowed in the couplet room? And they said as many as you want, as long as they don't interfere with the nurses and they're not too loud and they don't cause a disruption to the other patients. Okay, so they typically said about 4 to 5 people is what the max people will do in their room, just to be on the safe side. They did show us a labor and delivery room, which was very spacious. It was really nice. Other than that, my husband and I agreed on who was going to be in the labor and delivery room, and then we agreed how many people were going to be actually allowed up to the couplet room, because one of my final questions was if would I be able to stay in the labor and delivery room the entire time I'm there, which is no, you have to be moved to the couplet room so other people who need to give birth can give birth. Great, fine, no issue. But we did decide who was going to be in the room with us for the labor and delivery, and then we also decided that we would want a max of 4 or 5 people coming up at a time. We don't want our room overcrowded, and I'm very claustrophobic, so I'm just not about that whole, let's have as many people in here as possible. No, not happening. The rule at the hospital that we are going to be giving birth at is actually, if you're under the 13 or under, you are not allowed in to labor and delivery or the couplet room. And that is only because it is flu season and RSV season. And that goes up until middle of April, end of May. I am due beginning of April, ending of March, so I'm not going to take any chances. If you're under the age of 13, you will not be allowed in. If I see that you lied, I will actually be the one to say, hey, we're not taking chances. It's a newborn. You're just going to have to wait until we're out the hospital or a couple weeks down the line. I understand people are going to be butthurt about that, but I'm doing what's best for my child. You do what's best for yours. End of discussion. But one of the other questions that was asked was, are diffusers allowed? No, because people do have allergies, so they don't want to take a chance of someone going and having an allergic reaction, which actually did happen, and that's why they had to stop that the use of diffusers in the hospital. A nurse had an allergic reaction to lavender, so the diffusers are not allowed. You don't really have to bring anything. I asked about postpartum bags, and that was one of just the questions that I saw on the wall, because it said ask about your postpartum bag, and then it had a list of things that come in it. And I asked them, when do you get that? How does that work? And they're like, we'll give you enough for your day or 2 here, and then when you go home, you'll get another bag or 2 if you decide to take home with you. And it comes with mesh panties. the pads, the what are those called? The ice packs that you break that just stay down, that can go down there. They give you Tux pads, things like that, the medicated ones. So that way you are set, you are ready to go, there's no issues. I was really happy about that. That actually helped to relieve some of the things I wanted to buy. So I was like, all right, so I don't really need to bring anything. They did say that if we did not like the mesh underwear, we can always bring Depends or Always Discreet to help with postpartum, so that way we are as comfortable as possible. We do need to bring a going home outfit for baby. They recommend bringing a newborn and a 0 to 3 month, possibly a preemie. It just depends. But they said just stick with those 3. And then for mommy, bring home a going home outfit. Make sure you have your car seat with you. Baby cannot go home without it. And they will show you how to buckle the baby in and everything. And if you already know, you can show them, hey, I know how to do this. And then they'll just watch you do it and make sure you do it correctly. Another thing that they said was to make sure that I bring snacks for my husband, because the cafeteria does close. So overnight, if he gets hungry or if we're in labor overnight, he won't have to leave. He'll just have his snacks right there. We can bring like a small little baggy cooler with water and things like that. They will provide water though, of course. I'll also be bringing liquid flavor drops to add to the ice, because as soon as I go into labor and I'm checked into the hospital, I'm not allowed to eat until baby is born. So that's going to be our little plan. They asked for us to steer clear of certain like techniques. So if you're not getting epidural, you have 3 other options you can do for pain relief. But I guess someone tried bringing their own medication for pain relief at one point. So they asked that you don't like bring pain medication unless your doctor specifically says. Basically, ask your doctor loads of questions. Make sure you write down as many questions as possible for each visit. So like I had a visit and I asked him if I could eat sushi. Nothing raw. I can eat California roll as long as everything's cooked. Anything tempura. And that's about it. I didn't really ask anything else. Everything else has been good. Baby girl is good. So we went with that. Just going through the hospital tour, honestly, it was such a relief. And we knew where to park. We know what door to go into, because a lot of hospitals have multiple entrances. They have like women's care, then they have like pediatrics, and then main entrance and like side entrances. So I was confused as to where we were supposed to go, and so was my husband. And they're like, no, you come in through this entrance. You say, hey, I think my water broke. They'll check you into the OB triage. Check you. If your water did break, you will be admitted. If not, then we will watch you for about an hour, check you again, and then if it did break, you go back with them. If it didn't, then you go home. That's how it works. But basically, just be prepared. Make sure you have your hospital bag with you and the car seat. One of the other ladies asked about the birth plan, and basically they said we can bring one. It's up to us, but as long as we are open and honest with our OB doctor, it'll all be in our file, so they don't really need too much. They do need, when we come in, we will have to specify a couple things, like what shots we want for the baby, if we want them to check for the tongue tie immediately, which I do. And then there's one other thing. If we are up to date on all our vaccines. So they're going to basically just check everything and make sure everything's good. So overall, it was a great experience. It lasted about 45 minutes. It wasn't that long. We got to tour everything. We know where everything is at. We know where we're supposed to go. We know what the rooms look like. It helped to ease a lot of like the anxiety that I had about going into labor. And now I am actually very excited to go into labor, and not yet, though. Once we are like a week before my due date, yes, that's okay. But right now, no. So I'm very happy. I do recommend that you go to it. Make sure that you talk to your doctor about it, because if you don't decide like, oh no, I'm not going to go, what if you don't like the hospital you end up giving birth at? And that ruins the experience. You could have known like, oh, I don't really like some of the practices they do, so I'm going to go to this hospital, or I'm going to go look at another hospital. We went when I was 21 and a half weeks, and it was great. Like, we know what we can bring. We know what we to expect. It's no big deal. But if you go to a hospital tour, you don't like it, you can always go to another one because you have enough time to. And you can always ask your doctor, hey, if I give birth here, is that okay? My doctor specifically partnered with one hospital, so I'm glad I liked that hospital. Otherwise, I'd have to find a new OB. But I loved it. It was great. And so one of the ladies, her and her husband had already gone on one before, a hospital tour, when they were 20 weeks along, and their baby's was due like the first week of December or something like that. And they're like, we're on our second one. We just wanted to make sure it was this hospital's right for us because we're giving birth very soon. There was no issue. And they ended up actually signing up, registering and everything. Oh, one tip. If you take away nothing from this video, register for your hospital. That's it. Before you go. Like before your 30 weeks, before your 22 weeks. Register as soon as your doctor, as soon as you have your first doctor's appointment and they confirm the pregnancy. Register for the hospital, because if you don't and you're trying to register the night of or the day of, it's going to be a hassle. Register. That's all I can say. But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye.